Welcome to Mr. Orth's Flipped Classroom for Grammar. Today we're going to talk about verbs. For those of you following along in class, you're going to notice that we're actually not doing the chapters in the order the book appears. We've gone from chapter 1 to chapter 4. The reason for this is that this makes the most logical sense for you to learn these topics and contents. So keep up with your notes, ask a lot of questions in class, and be ready to gain some new understanding. First, the definitions. You're going to find definitions should be very familiar, if not already, in your notes from Chapter 1, which is really an overview chapter of the entire year. A verb is a word that expresses an action, a condition, or state of being. An action verb. Duh, it's a verb that expresses an action. A linking verb. If you ever wondered why you have a harder time understanding linking verbs than action verbs, just look at the difference in the two definitions. A linking verb is a verb that links or connects the subject to the main word in the predicate. It's not an action verb. Remember, in a sentence, a verb cannot be both an action and a linking verb at the same time, at the same usage. Common examples of linking verbs are forms of be and have. Also, some sensory words like looks, appears, smells, and feels could be action or could be linking depending on how they're used in the sentence. A helping verb is used before an action or a linking verb to show tense or agreement. Also, these are forms of be and have, as well as can, may, will, should, might, would, could, etc. In some slides or in some activities, you'll find that helping verbs can also be referred to as auxiliary verbs. For right now, we're not worried about which one's which, as long as you recognize that they're synonyms and can be used interchangeably for purposes in grammar. How to find them. Big surprise, what number 1 is. Always find the verb, all parts of it. Because you find one, it doesn't mean you're done. You want to make sure you're looking for what type of verb you have. So, if you don't find an action verb, look for a linking verb. Remember to check out for forms of be or have. If you don't find those, then look for those sensory words. We'll see an example of this later. Then, double check for helping or auxiliary verbs using your list. One way to do this is to find the simple subject and read it aloud, followed by the main verb. The two may not sound smooth together because a helping verb is missing. If you have an ing verb, such as the word missing at the end of the slide here. If I said that the simple subject for missing is verb or helping verb, because the sentence would read, helping verb missing. Well, we need the word is to help the word missing sound correct, sound appropriate, or at least sound smooth. So we realize that the helping verb is actually part of that verb phrase. Our first example. I will have walked 13 miles by the time you reach home. The main verb in the whole sentence is actually the word walked. That's definitely an action verb. I walked sounds okay, but there's other words in between, and it's not that common if it's other than a prepositional phrase to have words between the simple subject and the verb. Will, have are both helping verbs. Will, anytime we're dealing with a future tense verb, will is going to be considered a helping verb, whereas the main verb will follow. Have is also a helping verb when it's followed by another type of verb. Please remember that when we have a verb phrase, there should be nothing other than possibly the word not between helping verbs and main verbs. Otherwise, it should be straight through with no interruptions. Second example. The sea appeared calm. Appeared is definitely the verb, and it can be an action verb, especially if we're talking about a magic act. In this example, however, the sea did not appear as if by magic. It didn't poof out of thin air. So appeared isn't going to be considered an action verb. But we better test this. So we do. Appeared is considered a linking verb because it can be replaced by a form of be. Since appeared is past tense, we'll use the word was, which is the be form, which is past and singular. The sea was calm. Since the modified sentence using the word was shares the same meaning as the original, and because was is a linking verb, then appeared is a linking verb too. You can only replace words in sentences that have the same part of speech. That's why if you're replacing an ing verb in a sentence with a more stronger word choice, then you're going to have to replace it with an ing word. If you're replacing a noun in a sentence that's plural, you have to replace it with a plural noun. Likewise, when you're replacing a verb with a form of be, then if it works, what happens is a linking verb, because is, am, are, was, were, followed by no other verbs, are always linking verbs. It's a little confusing, but stay with it. You can do this. And yes, I absolutely agree too that appeared is a stronger word choice than simply was, but it still is a linking verb. Practice will be found in the packet and be completed during the next class session. Your teacher may have waited to give you the packet until you actually arrive in class, so you wouldn't worry about getting a head start and could just make the most of taking solid notes and going from there. Good hunting.